Good evening. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting agenda. Today's day is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. The time is 5:33 p.m. I'll take roll call. Mayor Javier Moreno here. Mayor Pro Tem Raul Ureña is just called me. He'll be here in 3 minutes. We'll wait for that. Councilmember Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Gloria Romo. Is she connected yet? Because she was going to connect on Gabby. She was going to connect on. She hasn't connected? Okay. I'll also send her a text on that. We'll wait on her. And then Councilmember Rosy Ariola Fernandez. Okay. Thank you. Call to order. Due to the declaration of emergency, this meeting is being held pursuant to AB 361, approved by Governor of California on September 16, 2021, and some or all the City Council members may participate in this meeting by teleconference. Pursuant to Imperial County Public Health Department guidelines, City Council meetings are now open to public at 100% attendance capacity of council chambers. Public participation will continue to be available in the following ways. Members of the public are encouraged to watch the meeting via live stream at http://communityspectrum.org live at 6:30 p.m. or via the Calexico City Hall Facebook page at www.facebook.com/City of Calexico CA. Members of the public will be able to make public comments in the following ways. In-person comments. Submit public comments via email by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, September 21st, 2022 to the City Clerk at the email address cityclerk@calexico.ca.gov or via fax to number 760-768-2103. You may also make public comments via Zoom from a PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or Android device. The telephone number to dial is 1-669-900-6833. The webinar ID number is 896-8987-1979. And the passcode is 976199. Public comments not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on closed session items only. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the City Council meetings with personal slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Please direct your questions, comments to City Council. Do we have any public comments? None? And then I'll make a note that it is 6:35. Mr. Raul Ureña has just arrived. So you're present. Thank you. Okay, so we don't have public comments, and we'll close to closed session at 5:35. So we'll take roll call. Mayor Javier Moreno here. Mayor Pro Tem Raul Ureña.
Here.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Gloria Romo. She's here? Okay. And Councilmember Rosy Ariola Fernandez.
Here.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sergeant Legaspi, can you help us?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. And we will read the mission statement. Mr. Garcia, can you help us with that?
City of Calexico mission statement.
Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner to improve the quality of life for all in our unique border community. Viva Calexico.
Please remain standing. I will do a short invocation. Dear God, we ask the blessings tonight of us who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work. Help us as leaders to fix things, what we need to learn, how might we need to change, and whom we need to listen to. Remind us that no matter where we live, everybody here in Calexico, grant us wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. Amen. Please be seated. Any closed session agenda announcements?
Thank you, Mayor. City Council went in closed session on the items on this evening's agendas. We did receive direction on these items, but no reportable actions were taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Campos. Approval of the agenda?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Mr. Camilo Garcia, second by Mr. Ariola Fernandez. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Ms. Romo? Yeah. I'm sorry? Oh, we can't hear your mic.
Councilmember Romo, can you hear us?
Yes,
We need your vote on the approval of the agenda.
She might be able to talk.
We can try calling her if this is not
Ronnie,
working.
Ronnie, talk to her, because I think she hears you, but she doesn't hear me.
yes, I approve of the agenda.
There you go.
Okay.
Ahí está.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, motion carried. 5-0.
Administradora.
And then we have, on presentations, we have a proclamation in celebration of the anniversary of Mexico's 212th Independence Day. I'll have our city clerk, Ms. Gabby Garcia, read it in English, and then subsequently we'll have Mr. Ureña volunteer who'll say it in Spanish.
Muchas gracias.
City of Calexico Proclamation, celebration of the anniversary of Mexico's 212th Independence Day. Whereas the Calexico City Council recognizes the important presence and contributions of Mexican Americans to the city of Calexico, Imperial County, and state of California, and our nation as a whole. And whereas we recognize that the vast majority of Calexico residents have family roots in Mexico and derive their rich heritage and traditions from these roots. And whereas these roots have had a profound positive influence in our residents' lives by promoting strong commitment to family, faith, hard work, and service. And whereas September 16, 2022 is the anniversary of the 212th Independence Day, when Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla called upon the people of the town of Dolores with a historic proclamation urging his fellow Mexicans to take up arms and fight for their independence from Spain. And whereas citizens of Mexico and those of Mexican heritage throughout the world unite on September 15 to join in commencing the celebration of Mexican Independence Day with civic and festive celebrations to strengthen their unity and cultural pride, culminating with the Grito de Dolores at the dawn of September 16. And whereas residents of Calexico join our sister city of Mexicali, Baja California, and citizens throughout Mexico in celebration of the heritage and traditions which enrich our lives, educate, and promote understanding amongst diverse cultures and people. Now therefore be it resolved by the virtue of the authority vested on the mayor, he hereby proclaims the day of September 16, 2022 as the 212th anniversary of Mexico's Independence Day. Viva Mexico! In witness whereof, he affixes his signature and official seal of the city of Calexico on the 21st day of September 2022. Javier Moreno, Mayor.
Proclamación de la celebración del aniversario de la independencia de México. Considerando que el Consejo Municipal de Calexico reconoce la presencia importante y contribuciones de los mexicoamericanos a la ciudad de Calexico, al Condado de Imperial, al Estado de California y nuestra nación en su conjunto, y considerando que reconocemos que la gran mayoría de los residentes de Calexico tienen raíces familiares en México y derivan su rica herencia y tradiciones de estas raíces, y considerando que el 16 de septiembre del 2022 es ocupo ayuda con este número, el 212º, ¿sí? 212º aniversario del Día de la Independencia, cuando Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla convocó a la gente del pueblo de Dolores con una proclama histórica, instando a los compatriotas mexicanos a tomar armas y luchar por su independencia de España. Y considerando que los ciudadanos de México y aquellos de ascendencia mexicana en todo el mundo se unen el 15 de septiembre para el comienzo de la celebración del Día de Independencia de México, con celebraciones cívicas y festivas para fortalecer su unidad y orgullo cultural, culminando con el grito de Dolores en la madrugada del 16 de septiembre del 1810. Y considerando que los residentes de Calexico se unen a nuestra ciudad hermana de Mexicali, Baja California, y de todo México en la celebración de la herencia y las tradiciones que enriquecen nuestras vidas, educan y promueven el entendimiento entre diversas culturas y personas. Ahora, por lo tanto, se resuelve en virtud de la autoridad que se le coloca, que se le confiere al señor alcalde de la ciudad de Calexico, proclamamos el día 16 de septiembre de 2022 como el 212º aniversario de la independencia de México. ¡Viva México! En testimonio de lo cual, por la presente, coloca la firma al señor alcalde y el sello oficial de la ciudad de Calexico este día 21 de septiembre del 2022.
Muchas gracias. Y pues felicidades a México por su 212º aniversario. The next item is announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website the Friday following City Council meeting. Community office hours with Mayor Moreno will be held by appointment. Please contact the City Clerk's office at 760-768-2102 to schedule an appointment. Public comments and public appearances. Not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The Mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the City Council meetings with personal or slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action, discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comments when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your comments to the City Council. Do we have any public comments? Do we do an online comment? Oh, yeah. Can you read them?
She's going to speak.
Good evening, council members. My name is Jordy Tollefson, and I'm speaking tonight to request that the Calexico Library is repaired and reopened as soon as possible. The library is such a community gem, and as such should be given priority so that families and children of the Imperial Valley can take advantage of the many great resources it offers. Every time that we go to the Calexico Library, our 3-year-old son gets a gigantic smile as soon as we walk through the doors. The staff, led by Lizeth Legaspi, is wonderful. Please do whatever is necessary to reopen the library for the community as soon as possible. Thank you so much for letting me speak tonight.
So just one? Okay. Thank you. Our next public speaker is Mr. Luis Olmedo. You can either go there or on this side, whatever you wish. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and members of this council. My name is Luis Olmedo. I am the Executive Director of Comité Cívico del Valle. And, I have seen the situation out here in Calexico, from your roads to the border inconveniences that are causing your city. a lot of these really align with a lot of the concerns we have, you know, whether it be the immigrant population, the farm workers, the disadvantaged, I mean, I would say all of us. We're very vulnerable communities, not only here in Calexico, but the whole valley. What happens in Calexico affects the whole valley. You know, Comité Cívico is here for the entire Imperial County and it's here for Calexico. I want to make sure the council knows that we're here in support. We are very much in disagreement with the disarray that's happening at the border, lack of coordination, lack of consideration, everything from the traffic that is causing great pollution to the inconveniences that are happening to our workforce, our essential workers. If we had abundance of housing here, I would say that a lot of the situation might be solved. But it's unfortunate that decision makers in Washington, D.C. don't see the reality of what's happening in our border. You know, it's sort of out of mind and out of sight when a lot of the population seeks housing, more affordable housing, you know, because the resources just aren't here. So I just wanted to say that you can count on Comité Cívico del Valle. If we need to go to Washington, D.C. and lay out these concerns, you can count on Comité Cívico del Valle. If there are going to be more impacts and burdens on our population, especially the most vulnerable, and I would say it's not limited to farm workers, we'll be there with you to support you. So, and I want to thank the council member here, congratulate you again. I've never had a chance to come out here, but here support her as well in any way that we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martinello. No one else? No? Thank you. Moving on to, somebody, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Did you fill one of these out?
Huh?
Did you fill one?
I didn't know to turn it into.
No, that's fine. Well, go ahead.
I can turn it
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah. That's okay. Just say your name.
My
Thank you.
husband's eyes, we have a baby rabbit, he tripped over.
Sure.
Okay, it's not his fault. Hi, my name's Rebecca Lemon, and I'm from Calexico, and I've lived here since I was 10 years old. I'm a bulldog. My parents are bulldogs. My sister's bulldogs. We're bulldogs. I just want to say that I'm barely catching up on the Hopeville Tribune. And Mr. Urinas, you seem to have a problem with everything. I don't understand why you come to every council with something negative. Calexico we're bad. We understand that. It's not your guys' fault. It's the phrase, what is it? Calexico, it's how Calexico is. But you have like stir up all these little hornets' nests, and then what? And then anytime anyone challenges you, you run away and they're being sexually discriminatory. It's race. You are against white people. What is your problem with white people? I'm white and I'm Calexico. The big sign in the lobby is in Spanish. I don't read Spanish, sir. When I've called Calexico anything, it's Spanish. I go to Walmart, Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Sorry. You sit here and you're talking to them before the meeting in Spanish. You don't think that insults my intelligence, knowing that you're talking, you could be talking about me, I don't know. But you sit there and you want equality, but you're not being fair to me. I call any agency, and I get someone to say, hold on. It's not my fault that I don't speak Spanish, but it's your fault for calling out and saying white people are against Mexicans. We are not. We are all bulldogs. You are not a bulldog, sir. These people here, they've been here for generations. They see the screwing up of their predecessors. It's not their fault. We are screwed. We don't have the money. Our fire department's screwed. But you understand that you stirring up these little hornet's nests, getting people conflicting with each other, you're not helping. You are not a bulldog, sir. I don't know what you are, but you are not a bulldog. You are just, I don't even know, I don't care where you're from. I don't care about your sexuality. I don't care about your color, anything. It's not white against Mexican, sir. It's weird. It's everybody has to come together, and you sit there telling us we have to be besties with Mexicali? I don't understand that. We are not besties. We are in a relationship where we are siblings. So whatever you think against white people, it's not our fault. You need to stop saying stuff about white people. I'm tired of it. You want stuff done? Put that sign in English. Every sign you put in Spanish, I want in English. Every time I call Calexico, I want someone who speaks English immediately. Because that's not fair to me. I was here too. But you seem to, I don't like the way you treat me. I don't like the way you treat other council members. You seem to think that they're all idiots. They're not. You took 8 minutes on your public comment. You ruined it for all of us. Now that you guys limited the time period. So please, before you start stirring up all these hornets' nests, fix what you have here. Recognize that these people are trying. She is doing her best. I hear a lot of positive things about her. Don't sit there and just stir up a hornet's nest, because we will fight back. Bulldogs will come after a hornet at any time. You understand? Thank you. You guys, please get us out of this debt. Please get our funds released. You guys are screwing us over. I mean, it's not my fault. It's not your fault. But the city of Calexico needs to change. I'm tired of being, oh, it happens in Calexico. I'm tired of our police being, not supported. I want mental health. We need a mental health crisis unit. My husband tried to hang himself in June. He ended up arrested with 3 fractured ribs. You understand that?
All right, thank you. Your 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
Oh, 2?
3 minutes are up.
Oh.
Thank you.
Darn, I had 8, don't I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Moving on to the city manager report.
Can everybody hear me? I heard a lot of complaints, people not hearing me, so I'm going to try to speak slow. On Monday, September the 19th, we had a meeting with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, and the General Services Administration, GSA, as well as county officials. This is regarding the upcoming closure of 5 lines coming from Mexicali to the city of Calexico, specifically on the Calexico West Port of Entry. Beginning Monday, you will expect to have delays crossing the border. We were informed that these lanes will maybe close up to 1 year. A new schedule has been proposed to extend the east port of entry to mitigate the crossing issue. And another meeting has been scheduled for tomorrow to be able to finalize that schedule. So in a sense, those who are commuting on a daily basis, please expect delays crossing the border. And if you can, use the east port of entry, which will experience an additional open of the lines and a different schedule. It hasn't been approved. After tomorrow, when we meet with them, we will find out, and we're gonna do place the new schedule on Facebook, confirmation that the lanes are being closed, and this is all due to the construction that they have right now. This is gonna have an impact in our community for the farm workers as they cross. We're gonna start the high season for farm workers crossing the border on a daily basis. I have already reached out to some nonprofit organizations to come up with a plan of how can we alleviate that impact in our community. I don't have all the details yet, but as soon as I have the details, I'll come back and report back to you. But we're gonna start trying to take steps ahead of the game before we get the a lot of population on the streets that we don't want to have. Due to the lack of hot water at the city community center, which is an issue that has been there for many years, but they were never addressed, we have been in contact with the Imperial County Environmental Health Department to address the issues. You're gonna see it on the news, but I wanna let you know that it was never brought to my attention that we don't have hot water in some of the facilities. If I would have known that, I would have addressed the issue because I know it is a state code violation. So we're trying to mitigate the issue. The County of Imperial Environmental Health Department is working with us, and we should be able to remediate the situation soon. Quotes are being requested so that we can make the repairs. In addition to that, Public Works Department is doing an assessment in some of the buildings that were impacted by the last rain. As mentioned before, we have 7 facilities that have issues with leaking on the roof. So we're trying to identify that, but please give us an opportunity to get the quotes because it has been very challenging with the short staff that we have to be able to get the quotes on time. So bear with us on that. As you may know, and based on the comments that were done today, one of the comments about the library being closed, the library had experienced a leakage in one of the restrooms. So what we did, we addressed the issue, and because that water leak was never addressed before, we found mold. So we fixing the issue. There's mold mitigation ongoing. We approved already one company after trying to get the quotes. And in addition to that, we're requesting quotes also to repair the restrooms as well. It's not that we don't want to have the library open, it's that we have to prevent any exposure to mold. The mold was not exposure, it was enclosed by the walls, but once that we tried to repair the walls, when you open it, then it was exposed, so we had to shut down the building to protect the employees as well as the public. So bear with us, because it might take us another week to fix the issue and being able to open the doors to the public. There are some events that were scheduled before. We're trying to find out a way to make it happen with temporary toilets, portable toilets outside. So we're looking into the budget to see what we can afford to continue having those events, because we believe, especially Ms. Lisette over there at the library, that the community wants to have events for their children. So we're trying to continue with the events that we have programmed before by having temporary toilets or portable toilets. The New River New River improvements bidding documents is almost completed. Actually, tomorrow is tonight they're sending the final bid documents to DWR. They have been working together, the city of Calexico, the engineers and DWR have been working together to put this document together, and so we're expecting to release the bid by Monday or Tuesday next week. So we will expect to have bid documents back in a matter of 3 or 4 weeks after that. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, if I may, I believe we have two billboards, those movable billboards. Can we somehow place them maybe close to that, when we cross to the pedestrian crossing, and maybe another one at the entrance of the city, so we can start, advertising, or we can start, letting people know what's going to happen with the crossing, right? Because I mean, yeah, social media and all this, it's great, but I think we start using that, and yes, we do have those two billboards. So I don't know if Lily's here, so we can just bring those out and put them,
Yes,
on strategic locations.
As mentioned before, we have a conference call tomorrow with the agencies.
Correct. Once you find out.
Yes, and once that they confirm the information, we don't want to go ahead. They share with us the proposal, but because it hasn't been finalized, we cannot use them. So we're expecting from them to provide us with notifications, flyers, whatever they're going to provide us, so we can post it. And we're going to take care of that billboards.
And maybe, I know years ago, before the electronic billboard went up, and I remember being sitting at that as part of the public, the company that was given that contract or the ability to build that billboard, I think they said that they were going to do some in-kind services for us, put some announcements or something like that. And I don't know if that was putting a contract, probably not. But if we can just reach out, at least for them to run once in a while, a PSA, type of public service announcement. I mean, it doesn't hurt to reach out to the company that is at that.
So we're going to reach out as well as the newspaper, and hopefully they can help us advertising some of that information. It's not really our flyers. They're going to be the flyers from GS8 and from CBP. I think it's GS8 actually.
Correct.
But we're going to try to see if they can help us, the media, to see if they can help us distributing that information.
Yeah, maybe I know it's really difficult to get funding and even just to get information on a timely manner, because it seems that this is the way that they do things. We have had other incidents or situations where they tell us like a week before they're going to take some action or they're going to do some work, and I think we need to improve. And going back to the statement from Mr. Olmedo, I think communication needs to flow, and we know that it's not here locally. It's in DC,
Yes.
But we need to make sure that we go back, to, I mean, a rep is about to step down, Vargas. We're going to get a new rep, but we need to make sure that, we have it on a speed dial and that, they're actually doing the talking for us, because, I mean, that hasn't happened. And
Yes.
we need to make sure that if there's an offer from someone, from an agency that is recognized, maybe let's pick up the conversation or start the conversation, because I don't know what has been done in the past, but for sure, the actions that are taken are affecting, Calexico, are affecting, across the border. And in looking at this, the economic impact is also going to be huge.
Yes.
I mean, and the human impact also. So I think just those two things merit a very strong action and outreach, whether it's through letters or whatever needs to be done.
Yes.
But we need to make sure that we begin to communicate. So I would like to suggest maybe trying to put some sort of letter.
Yes.
That at least we want to start better communication. And I know that there is some communication going on, but most of those topics that take place during those meetings are information about Sentry, the waiting time, the appointments. But these hard topics and issues that affect our communities, and not just Calexico, but throughout, we rarely talk about those things because no one seems to have information on that, and they always have to go back to the regional office, to DC. So maybe we can have someone on that call that can actually provide that information. So let's work on that. Let's strategize. Let's get people involved. Let's get community involved. Nonprofits. Community agencies, because that needs to happen. And the sooner the better.
I actually have a step further already. Last night I sent an email to CBP and to the other agencies, letting them know of the potential impacts that our city is going to suffer. I even included an attorney so that we can start developing a plan. I addressed some of the potential impacts that we're going to have in the economy in Calexico, as well as not just the farm workers. Think about the children that goes to school, the other workers that during the pandemic, it was very noticeable that many people come from Mexicali to work to the United States. That's a workforce that we have that are going to be impacted. And so I addressed all those issues to them, and I'm hoping that they will listen to us. And like you said, it's not at the local level, but at least I made that call at the local level, and I'm hoping that they will help us to forward those concerns all the way to Washington, D.C. And I will take the word from Mr. Olmedo. Maybe we can start strategizing something along with the attorney to issue that letter and addressing those concerns.
Ms. Colio, I guess once you get everything in concrete, what exactly is going to happen,
Yes.
you could just communicate to us.
Yes.
So that way we could
Yes,
take
immediately
the next
after the
step.
meeting.
Because my understanding is going to bottleneck as they're coming up. Everything's just going to bottleneck, and it's going to be quite a problem getting in.
Yes, and so I also on the subject, a similar subject. Our city has been experiencing large number of people crossing the border. This Saturday, we have a crazy day having people overcrowded in the intersections. What is happening is many of the residents are ignoring the direction of the traffic controllers. And so what they do, because they're young people, they're trying to mitigate the issue about the traffic, they ignore them and they block the intersections. And so at that point, I actually was in the intersection on 98 and 111. I couldn't go anywhere because it was completely blocked, because people are not listening to the traffic controllers. I called Mr. Chief Serrano, and he sent a patrol. What do we have to do that? As the citizens, we should all be paying attention to that. We should be listening to the traffic controllers. They're there for a reason. But it's been a struggle for us, and we don't have much funding to have additional cops or additional traffic controllers. And I hope that the community listens and let us know and help us with that. We have also an incident with one of the traffic controllers that was hurt because of the same reason. So I want to ask respectfully to everybody to respect those individuals and follow the guide that they provide to them to minimize the impact. The lines are very long, and so now with this new closer of the line, the lanes, it's going to be an impact coming from over there. My biggest fear as a city manager, in my opinion, is that if they promote the crossing of the other line on the east port of entry, someone that crosses the border on car, they're gonna go take the 7, going all the way to 10, and guess what? They're not gonna stop at the city of Calexico. They're gonna stop at other cities to make their purchases. That's an economic impact for us. And that's what I truly believe. That's what I sent that email last night, and I'm sorry it was late. But I sent that email to them because it's a real concern for the city. We're barely making our budget, and so we need to address those issues.
That's why it's so important and crucial
Yes.
that we start these conversations at every level,
Yes.
right? And as far as your comment about asking people, not to exercise restraint and at least courtesy, right? Because people are there for a reason. The traffic controllers, they're assisting. But with that, I will invite to talk to Chief Serrano, Interim Chief Serrano, and see what we can do to cover all of our bases. Because if people are not respecting, the law, well, they should be cited. They should be, somehow held accountable also, because we're not going to risk someone's, integrity, getting hurt, getting injured. So I don't see that happening. And the traffic controllers don't have that power or don't have that ability to cite. They're just trying to make sure that traffic is flowing. But if signage is needed, whatever is needed, because the last thing that we want is someone getting hurt. And I think there was already, the incident. So I don't want to see this repeat itself again. But again, this is a call to all the citizens, not just Calexico, but whoever goes through the city. And make sure that we notify them, make sure that they see, make sure there is signage, because that way they cannot come back and say, you never told me.
Ms. Holo, this is city manager's report, right?
Correct. I want to remind you, it's we have two council members that already commented on the item. We shouldn't have another one comment item unless we can have a robust discussion. I think it probably is needed, but we just need to put it on the agenda.
Okay, sounds good. I'll reserve my comment for the city comments, but just make sure to remind me on that particular topic. Make sure Mr. Aguirre doesn't go so deep.
Sir, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Thank you. I didn't realize this conversation was going to be about what I just spoke on, public comment.
Intenso.
But I just wanted to, again, to just not only lend my support, but and certainly not in any way interfering with the advice of your city manager. As an advocate for 20 years, I have seen our community ignored, largely ignored. With COVID, the federal government ignored us. And still today, they have not implemented any safety features other than putting some stickers on the ground. There was no restrooms. I recently crossed through the Algodones, and the federal government has restrooms that are available for the community. So even as simple as that, we're being discriminated here in Calexico. They've never done anything about the New River at all. The only time that they've done something was when they settled with their own workers around the hazardous conditions. And they left our community out. They were okay with putting millions of dollars to settle that, but did zero for our own neighborhoods. So they recognize that that is a problem. So certainly your executive administration and their teams have their protocols and duties of how to do things. As elected officials, you certainly don't necessarily have to play by those rules, right? I think that there's an opportunity for you to go to DC I think that the Biden administration is very welcoming and open to having a conversation. I think what you have here is a set of asks, expectations that your city administration has. Again, I would certainly welcome an invitation and join you and even, bring other advocates with us and help support their travel out there, to join you in that type of advocacy effort, do a letter writing campaign. If you leave it only to going through the channels, you'll be a year, 2 years, 3 years, and this situation will never be resolved. So that's been our history. So I just want to let you know, in 25 years of doing this kind of work, I think that's probably your best alternative, right? Other than the channels that your city manager is also recommending through their authority. So thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Commissioner's report. As we all know, we have a new line item, which was included here on the agenda with Commissioner report, and we do have one Commissioner reporting, Joanna Espinosa from the Parks and Recreation, Beautification, and Senior Citizens Commission. And is she online? Okay.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hola, buenas noches. This is Joanna Espinosa from the Parks and Recreation Commission. I'm going to start with some updates about the conference that me and Ms. Romo are at right now in Phoenix. I just wanted to let you guys know we've been getting a lot of ideas, having space to dream. We were able to see actually a presentation from the El Centro Aquatic Recreation Facility, and we were able to connect with them. And for me, as a commissioner, El Centro right now is really a model city in terms of recreation. And I'm hoping to connect with them and be able to learn a lot about the process and how they were able to get the funding, the grants, and all the nitty gritty about it. So that's something. We've been also linking up with other departments from all over the nation, including Chicago. They were giving a presentation in which they used the land acknowledgement, and that's something that I've tried to implement in the commission since I first became a commissioner. The land acknowledgement is something that I need help with, and I know the city manager has to approve it. So me and Ms. Warren, I don't know if we could have a meeting sometime to be able to go over that. There is some information in the past agendas from the meetings with the commission that have information about that, but I could email you separately at some point. Going on from that, I wanted to also take a moment to promote the event that's happening this Saturday. Calexico Needs Change is going to host a cleanup. We're meeting up at the Border Friendship Park. It's going to be this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's in honor of the National Lands Day. So we would like to see a lot of people out there. We also are requesting some help with maybe picking up the trash bags. I don't know if we could have one of those metal bins placed by the park. Or last year, I remember there was a public works person driving around in the pickup and picking up some of the trash bags. So I don't know if that's something that we could get help with. I already created a flyer and I will be emailing it shortly after this meeting. But it's also published in the Calexico Needs Change Instagram and Facebook. So aside from that, I'm just going to mention some events that I'm hoping to be able to bring soon, because people have come up to me about it. Tony Garcia from the commission has also wanted to collaborate on a powwow. We are planning on reaching out to the Yuma people that do it, because Tony's more familiar with that, and obviously see how the recreation budget can afford that. or look at options on how to fund it. Another event is an idea that a past coworker in Calesiana brought up to me. She wants to do a STEAM event, which stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. So we were thinking of holding that either in the library or recreation, whatever is attainable. But those are just some of the things that I wanted to bring up to start a conversation, start a discussion, and see how we can make all those things possible. And that would be it. If there's any questions, please let me know.
No question. Thank you, Joanna. Okay, moving on to the next item. It's City Council comments and reports of meetings attended. Mr. Ordeña?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll try to be brief with all my reports since I do have a couple. Starting with, I'll very briefly, obviously, I think the conversation with Ms. Lemon is very deep, cultural, deeply rooted in decades of history here in Calexico, especially when it pertains to language. But briefly, yes, I am a Calexico Bulldog. I did graduate in 2015. I did go to Jefferson. I went to Camarena, so did my sister. So I'm from here, and my family has been from here since God knows how many decades as well. This situation about the traffic controller that was run over, when I heard about it, I was absolutely enraged. I was enraged as a transportation commissioner because ever since I've been on that commission, I've told the commission the impact that taking away that subsidy for traffic control that they took away in 2019, what it would do to our community. And now look at this. Now we have a body. Cheryl Walker needs to listen. Maria Nava needs to listen. They need to take away the lens of discrimination they have towards me or towards our city and look at the impact that it's having on the bodies of our city employees. This is disgraceful. Right? I can't reveal any details, but we can guess if that driver was from Calexico or if they were not from Calexico, right? This is not a Calexico issue, but it becomes a Calexico issue, and then it becomes a city employee matter and a safety matter. So this council, it behooves us to send a letter to ICTC as soon as possible and let them know what happens and let them know that their policy actions were partially a cause of this. We need at least a partial subsidy back from traffic control if we're going to handle the traffic of all the cities. I'm sorry, that topic definitely pisses me off, to say the least. Positive news. The Imperial Valley Food Bank, for the first time in I don't know how many years, will be having their Harvest Bowl event, their yearly Harvest Bowl event here in our city of Calexico for the first time. The chefs at Crazy Bowl will be preparing a very special meal, not taquitos ni nada, something very fancy. I was there when we had the tasting and they got very creative with that. It's going to be October 8th. I hope we can have an item at the next meeting because we said that we would have a sponsorship so we can go there. It's very important because it pertains to the collaboration that we may have in the future for the food hub in downtown Calexico. That's going to be October 8th. It is open to the general public, but there is a donation required for admission. There are two events coming to the city of Calexico that are citizen initiated. One of them is on October 11th. One is on October 11th. It's going to be from Jose Luis Tadeo, the maker of the Feria Pa la Raza. And the other one is October 22nd here in downtown Calexico. All these are still in the permitting process, just out of transparency. But citizens have expressed their intentions. The second one is Dia de los Muertos Calexico, which should be in downtown, probably in the same place as Feria Pa la Raza 1. And one of the things that this council will have to analyze and contribute is that those organizers have asked me to propose a lowering of the one-time business license fee to make these kinds of events easier. We're currently at, I think, $40. Other cities are anywhere between $15 to $20 for these kind of one-day events. We would have to work on that quickly in order for events like this to happen. Staffing plan, hopefully that will come out in the next couple of meetings as well. I know that's a highly anticipated item that is under analysis by administration. And lastly, I have to report to council and to the citizens. I was invited to a meeting with the Calexico Unified School District. Around the corner on October 13th, they're going to be making a very important decision that will impact all of us, which is the Calexico Unified School District's impact fees. A big conversation. Obviously, we want schools in this community to be funded, but not in a way that it disincentivizes housing for their students, right? We want to have a way where schools are funded, but not in a way that it makes sure that housing is not built. That board meeting is going to be on the 13th of October. Administration is making some calculations to enrich that conversation. And as soon as we have more details in the next couple of days, we hope to be releasing those so that the public knows what is being discussed between the City of Calexico, Calexico Unified School District, and how it can impact all of us commercially and via housing. And I think those are all my updates, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez.
I really don't have anything, but I guess I do have something. I want to say for the people that don't know that Mr. Nicholas Serene has passed away, our past city manager. So my condolence, my sympathy goes to the Serene family. As you all know, he worked here, and I guess we and the family Serene has been they've lived in Calexico for many years, pioneers, and they've always involved with many activities in Calexico. And again, my deepest sympathy for the family. That's all I have to say. Excuse me? Yeah. Should we do? Okay, so could we have a minute of silence? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia?
Sure. I had the opportunity to attend yesterday that presentation of an $80 million check to San Diego State. City Manager Coley also was there. So it was really exciting to see that, you know, that type of investment it's being done in our one of our institutions of higher learning, and that will pave the way to create really opportunities for young people to get options as far as careers, to really bring what also is badly needed in this community, which is, you know, higher education that will lead to a good, prepared, trained workforce. So that was very encouraging, and kudos and thank you to Assemblymember Garcia, Eduardo Garcia, and Senator Ben Hueso, who spearheaded this effort to get this money for San Diego State. Then also, I would like to yield some of my time to Sergeant Legaspi. I know they're having an event, but Sergeant Legaspi, if you can come up and just share that event with us that is coming up. Or maybe the chief, you know, whoever wants to come up and share that raspado with the cop. So I don't want to butcher your announcement, but just make sure that you give the details. So. You got to be ready for the unexpected.
Good evening, everyone. On September 29th, we're going to be having an event in conjunction with the Camarena Memorial Library. And we're going to have an event regarding Raspados with the cop. Basically, we're going to try to meet the public at the library and provide Raspados for about 100 people. and then be able to interact with them and kind of listen to what kind of ideas and suggestions the community have for the police department, and see, move forward, see if we can accommodate some of those issues, or some of the requests from the public that will be provided for us today. We're also going to be providing a small, brief educational portion at the beginning of the event due to the last events that has been happening throughout the county and with vehicles and also juveniles. So that's kind of what our event's going to be in a nutshell, and you all are invited for September 28th at the 5:30 to 7:30. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I didn't get the date. You have to speak louder.
It's September 29th.
Yeah.
For September 29th.
Thank you, thank you.
What time?
So,
5:30 to 7:30.
okay.
Can I get a cup of coffee instead of a espada? I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
Actually, we're working on that with McDonald's. I think that's going to be more in January.
I was just kidding.
No, it's already in the works.
They were laughing at me yesterday because we were having the event outside at noon, and I was drinking coffee. And sorry.
So, but thank you. So I think that it is important. I wanted to make sure that the community knows, and this is a great opportunity to get to know their public servants and interact and get information. So appreciate it. So sorry to put you on the spot, but
thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Mrs. Romo?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no comments at this time, but at our next meeting, I will provide information on the Parks and Recreation Convention, okay?
She's done?
That's
Wow,
it.
quick. Okay. Yeah. I got a couple of things to announce. Women Haven's having the Mariposa Award fundraiser gala on Friday, October the 28th at 6 p.m. And that's at the old Eucalyptus Schoolhouse, located at 796 West Evan Hughes Highway, El Centro. You can visit the website, www.womenhaven.org. And this is about domestic violence. October is domestic violence month. The other thing also pending was Mr. Roy Duranza was here a week ago, I think it was, a couple of weeks ago. And No Mas, Ni Una Mas, I think, I believe that's the film he produced. And it's going to be showing October the 1st the San Diego State University Ronnie Auditorium, one showing there. And the proceeds are going to go to the Calexico, I believe, Norma Correction Department, Recreation Department of Senior Citizens.
Where is it going to be shown?
Yeah,
The
the proceeds from the.
proceeds, part of the proceeds will be.
Okay, good. So the senior citizens will take care of some of that. The other thing is just to piggyback on our biggest concern here with the port of entry, what Mr. Garcia was alluding to earlier, and just to piggyback a little bit, what Scully was saying is that we were there yesterday at 2 o'clock on our monthly briefing with CBP, and that's obviously the biggest concern of us. The biggest topic was discussed yesterday, and she was very, and I kudos for her because she was very proactively involved with that conversation. In terms of all the things that she already touched, I'm not going to go through that because it's still in the making. One of the things that really concerned us was where is the plan? Where is the closure? What dates and all that? So as a result of her being actively involved with that, and with the new director, Ms. Roque Casa, agreed to do a follow-up for tomorrow at 9 o'clock to inform us what's going to be the plan, so we can get that at our city, and then, like Mr. Garcia was saying, be proactively involved with signs, outreach, social media, whatever we have to do to advise the population here, either whether they're going south or coming north, because it's going to be affecting us greatly. It's going to have a huge impact, especially the holiday season coming up. So as soon as she has something on that, we'll report. We'll put something together and hopefully it'll give the population out there more information, concrete information to that issue we got there. The other thing also I wanted to comment is we should, maybe it's a future item, but there's some talk in town that we haven't had a Christmas parade in a while.
On that comment, I forgot to mention, our staff and I, we have been working together and putting together some ideas.
Okay.
We don't want to make promises
Sure.
because Ms. Gerardo informed me that it might cost somewhere in the $10,000, so we need to look for sponsors.
Right.
To be able to afford it. The city is not in the position to afford something like that with all the issues that we have currently. But we definitely already working on the ideas, and once that I have that one in place, I will notify you, and we will proceed with securing the sponsors.
All right, thank you. I know you did that last couple years ago. I think the Santa Drive, right? And that was very well put together, and the community came out there. So I was very looking forward to that. Hopefully this year again. So that's all I have to report. Moving along with the next item is the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted with one motion in the form listed. Any items may be removed from the consent agenda calendar and considered separately by City Council.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Mr. Ureña. Need by second. Second by Mr. Garcia. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Mr. Romo?
Aye.
Is that aye? Okay. Thank you. Motion carried. And no items pulled from the agenda. Discussion and potential action items. Easement and assignment transition between the City of Calexico and SBA Tower X LLC for the Calexico Water Tower located at 352 East 5th Street, Calexico. City Manager.
Yes, Mayor, I can present the item. Also, too, for the record, I want to note that we have distributed a final agreement for purchase of the easement itself. When it went to print, there was a couple items that we're finalizing with SBA, the party on the other side. Since then, they've been finalized. They were just minor items, and before you use a final agreement, at the same time, too, this will be uploaded to the city's website. In short, this assignment and easement agreement provides for a 55-year lease of the water tower. Just for historical background, I'm not too sure how much the public is aware. In 2019, the city did find that there were some structural deficiencies to the water tower. Specifically, one of the footings was raised above the concrete level. At that point in time, some repairs were made to stabilize it. Obviously, it was a short-term solution. At that point in time, the city also looked at and issued a request for proposals to solicit companies in the wireless industry, just either if they wanted to interested in leasing or potentially purchasing the water tower and repairing it as well. After the process of issuing an RFP, we did get proposals, and at the end, the city did elect to proceed with SBA Towers X, which is a party before you. The initial plan was to repair the water tower. A structural engineering report was conducted that would after evaluation would later determine that any repairs would not last the life of the 55-year easement. As such, a determination was made that they would need to be it would need to be demolished and a new water tower would need to be rebuilt. As such, the agreement before you provides for a one-time lump sum payment to the city of $1 million and $5,000. Also, the city would receive 70% of any potential new revenue on the water tower. Currently, there's four wireless providers on the water tower, as well as the Border Patrol. They have equipment and wireless equipment up there, and the city does obtain about $90,000 per year. So that's where the revenue comes for SBA Towers to come ahead and provide a one-time lump sum payment. At the same time, too, they would be doing all the work, decommission the water tower. to remove it, and then to replace it with a new water tower. It'll be a full water tower. The water tower itself has not been used as a water tower for the immediate, it's probably been 40 years, 50 years since it's been used as an actual water tower. Now it just basically serves as a facility for wireless carriers. At the same time, too, it's become a landmark within the city. That's the reason, as part of this agreement, the water tower will be preserved, and SBA has made that commitment, and it will not be demolished itself. It would be preserved, and once the city decides what permanent location or house they want to relocate the water tower, then the city can do so. So that preserves it. So overall, the deal provides for a lump sum payment of $1 million and 5,000, 70% of any future revenue of any wireless carriers that do locate on the water tower, and then SBA will be responsible for all the costs to decommission and construct a new water tower. Same time, too, the current wireless facilities up there would be housed now within the water tower itself, so they won't be attached on the outside. So with it, I'm not sure if there's any questions from the council or members of the public.
And I just want to confirm something, so we all get clearance on that. The existing antennas, we're not going to receive any more revenue of those existing ones.
Correct.
We're only going to receive revenue for the upcoming connections, antennas that are placed in the new water tank, the fall. It's not going to be a real one, it's going to be a fake one. Also, I know that tower means a lot for a lot of people.
Yes,
And it's a landmark. We're not going to be destroying that landmark. We're going to hold it in our facilities until we determine what will be the best way, what the best location for that water tank. And I want to make sure that the citizens understand that, so they don't feel that we just thrown it away. No, it's going to be preserved until we all have come with a plan to place it in maybe one park or in another location, and we'll figure out later on. But for now, it is important that that item is, that tower is being removed, because it could potentially represent an issue if we get an earthquake or something like that.
Do you think we could do some type of campaign, like saying we choose certain sites, and then have like the public decide,
Yes.
whether we want it, in Cesar Chavez, do we want it here in Rockwood Park, do we want it, on the east side? I think that would be something for us to consider.
We can develop a survey. And locate,
Yeah.
put in a list of potential locations that the city owns, because it will have to be in the city-owned land. And so we can maybe do a survey and see what will be the people's feeling, and put it on the website or in media. And once we open a period of time for them to decide, and depending on the votes, and then we can come back to the city council.
Yeah, I think so, because, that tower means a lot to the citizens of Calexico.
Yes, we're fully aware of that, and this is not in any way a way to get rid of it, it's just to preserve it.
Yeah, and it became a safety issue, obviously,
Oh,
the
yes,
structure,
yeah.
the structural integrity of the water tower.
Yes.
And the replacement tower, the plan is to make it look as best possible as the current water tower there, but it just became a safety issue, and that's why, unfortunately, after reviewing the structural engineering report, it looked like the repairs wouldn't work, and it would need to be decommissioned and replaced, so.
Dale?
No. I just want to make sure, and that was important what you said, city manager and attorney, that this is by no means, we're getting rid of, the identity of Calexico. And I think, we always talk about our history, and that's something that I really, I'm for, the history, preserving our history, because I know we want to move forward, we want to move to the future, but we cannot forget our roots. And that has meant so much, that structure. But it is true, it now it represents, some sort of liability. But, having the people give input and make sure that they're also participate, they have ownership in this process, right? And what I would like to suggest, I don't know what's the timeline for this to happen, but if we can start working at the same time, so hopefully when they bring it down, and we already have something commissioned to be restored. And then after being restored, set it in a permanent location, because having it sit at a place, it might just take longer, or sometimes other things come up, and that becomes some sort of forgotten thing. So I don't want that to happen. I want something that is going to be done at the same time, and that people actually can be proud, and maybe that's part of the whole attraction too. We're looking at different things, that Rockwood rollout, and the promenade, and all these things. So as we work on that, I think that this could be part of the Renaissance type of effort for the city, and aesthetics, and not just in aesthetics, on our identity, the history, the rich history that the city has. So if we can just start planning, I know there are things that are really important, but for people this is important. For us it's important. So that would be my suggestion, my input on that. So thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Let's to approve. Anybody second that?
Second.
Second by Ms.
Arreola Fernandez.
Ms. Arreola Fernandez, okay. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Romo?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried. Item number 12, appointments by mayor and council members to the following commissions, board of committees, and committees. I still don't have anybody, nobody's applied for the last time I know we checked, where we're gonna, went into somebody applied, we're gonna put it up here, right? I think it was, nobody applied, okay.
But
Do you have anybody?
I have mine.
Okay, well, I'm just,
Gabby, I have mine. You,
Okay.
don't you?
Yeah, I do.
okay.
You want to go by?
No, go ahead, we can start here. Camilo, go ahead.
For the Economic Development and Financial Advisory Commission, I want to nominate Mr. Enrique Ramirez. So I already provided you the information, so you can reach out to him. So you can. All right, thank you.
Okay, what?
For about Calexico Planning Commissioner, I have Joe Montes. And for Calexico Personnel Commission, I have Margarita Montes.
No appointments as of now.
No?
No.
Ms. Romo? She's also up.
Pending.
Ms. Romo,
No
did you
for
have
the
anybody?
moment. In next meeting, please.
Councilmember Romo, do you have an appointment for the Calexico Personnel Commission?
I don't think she can hear it. She can only hear
I think she says next meeting, she said?
No.
I think she said
No, for the next meeting.
the next meeting.
for the next
Okay.
meeting. Okay.
She will make an appointment for the next meeting.
That's next week? Okay. All right, that settles that. Thank you. Next item is future agenda items. I don't have anything. You have anything, sir? Brian?
Only the one about the food bank?
Feedback, yes.
Food bank? Había otro, pero, oh, the one about will the business license, is that just in writing, or is that an item that has to come to lower the fees for the one time?
We'd have to bring it
Para
back.
los eventos, that comes as an item?
Yeah, I'd have to bring it back.
If it is passed, would that be effective immediately? Would we be in time for the event?
Yeah, I'll see what, yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
Mr. Garcia? No?
No future.
I don't have any.
No? Ms. Romo, you have any future agenda items?
Yes. I request a presentation and full future projection to the Department of Police on the area of traffic control, please.
Traffic control.
Yeah, on traffic control, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
So moved by Mrs. Oriola Fernandez, second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Ureña.
Ms.
And
Ureña.
then all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Gracias.
Did she say yes?
Yes,
The more the votes, the
Yes,
better.
okay. All right, meeting's over, thank you.
you're welcome.